Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Hope y'all are good, man. Yo, it's been a while since I've actually recorded a video. I think it's been like almost a year, bro. I just had to take a break of YouTube and social media and just actually focus on myself because, yeah, man, back then, I was struggling with a lot. I just had to reprogram my brain, bro, when it comes to trading. And yeah, man, I'm back on YouTube again. Back to document my journey. This time I'm going to do it right. Just gonna be transparent with everything, bro. The trades, the challenges, that I buy, and yeah, man, I'm just gonna document my journey. From now, I'm just gonna do a young market breakdown for you guys, just to show you how I'm looking at things for the week. I haven't bought any, challenge account. I'm going to do that soon, probably next week. Probably, I'm going to buy a challenge account. I'm still deciding on whether I should buy a 100k rands with Commit Capital, or I should go with a 10k USD challenge account with GFT, right? But yeah, I'm still deciding on that. But yeah, as soon as I'm done deciding, I will definitely be buying a challenge account. And yeah, bro, we're just gonna try to pass the challenges and obviously hopefully get that payout, bro. I feel like there's still some things I need to work on in terms of psychology and the risk part, which is why I want to document my journey again, just to hold myself accountable. I feel like I was doing much better at that area at the time when I was still documenting my journey, right? So yeah, just want to get back to that. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes, man. Right now I'm just chilling in the you know like to call it an office, just chilling here. Young setup. Here I have my chart. I don't know if you see, but yeah, I have my chart there. And then this is where I read books. I was actually reading a book. Like I said, a lot has changed. I was actually reading a book, taking some notes, whatever, whatever. But yeah, man, let's get to the market breakdown so I can show you how I was looking at things, right? I actually got like two or three setups wrong. The way I was looking at price, I wasn't trading or anything like that. I was just actually just looking at price. But yeah, I just want to show you that, man. How
I actually wanted to show you what happened with US 30, right? Initially, this is how I was looking at price, right? I was targeting one is to 5 or 7, 1 is to 2. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this is how I was actually looking at the trades. We actually had all time frames in sync, right? So we had the weekly time frame bearish, we had the daily time frame bearish, and we had the 4 hour time frame bearish. The weekly time frame was at a lower high, the daily time frame was at a lower high, the 4 hour time frame was also on a lower high, right? So obviously, what does this tell me? This tells me that if we do have other confluences, price might actually be ready to go down, right? So yeah, man, as you can see, these are my confluences: weekly bearish engulfing candlestick, of which it's the previous week's candlestick. We are retesting the daily area of interest, of which this was the daily area of interest, right? The reason why I marked this off as a daily area of interest is because I do see that price has a lot of rejections, right? Including obviously these ones right over here and these ones. But I'm just on the 4 time frame, so you won't be able to see it properly. Let me just go on the daily so everything can be clear, right? Uh, So going on the daily, you can clearly see why I marked this off as a clean support and resistance, right? An area of interest, you can clearly see we had multiple of rejections right over here, right? So simple, simple, simple. As we went on to the 1 hour and lower time frames, bro, what I was waiting for was a simple shift of structure showing me that price is ready to actually go down, right? You can clearly see that here. This was our last higher high higher low, and then price printed this higher high, right? So now since our price broke below this higher low, can clearly see that price turned bearish, right? Along with the 30-minute, um, as you can see, the 15-minute to the 15-minute to shifted structure, right? So that's the only things that I was waiting for. And then I think I entered on a 15-minute bearish engulfing, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think I entered on a 15-minute bearish engulfing. Oh yeah. Price gave us a nice bearish engulfing here. Just wanna show you. Price gave us a nice bearish engulfing here, and I entered right after the bearish engulfing. Well, not entered, but supposedly. You understand me? And yeah, bro, this is how it went. Everything was going actually smooth. As you can see, price was running like up until 1.3%, which is not bad. But initially, I was looking for a 2.5%, right? But as you can see, price literally just went in an opposite direction. I don't like using break even, so even if I had entered these trades, I don't think I would have placed a break even, because if I'm placing a stop loss, I'm placing a stop loss, whereas I know if price hits that stop loss, then I'm totally wrong and I'm okay with the loss, right? That's what I was initially willing to risk, you understand me? But then yeah, that's what happened on the US 30. I'll just clear the checklist tomorrow when I wake up. I think the other trade was, I think it was GBP CAD. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was, oh yeah, it was GBP CAD, bro. GBP CAD, I actually rushed into the trade. Initially, I took the trades here, took the sells here. Obviously now I didn't enter because I don't have an account yet. But yeah, this is where I was supposedly had to take my trades with a nice 1:5. I think the stop loss will make sense as we drop on lower time frames. But yeah, I wasn't chasing for much. This was the setup, right? So looking at price, the weekly was bearish, the 4 hour was bearish, and the daily is bearish, right? So all time frames are in sync. This is a 30% confluence, right? Which is what I need for an A plus setup. And yeah, bro, we were retesting this weekly area of interest, daily area of interest. We were retesting the neckline of the weekly, but one thing that I say about this when I say I rush this trades is the weekly just broke below. This is a retest. We don't know if it was gonna stop here or not, right? So I feel like I was supposed to wait for the weekly candlestick to close first to show us its hand first before I can say um what else am I supposed to do, right? But one thing that I also understand is that price can tap into this area of interest and wick down and also close bearish, right? So that's one of the possibilities that I know. But yeah, we were also retesting the weekly EMA, so the confluences were actually good, bro. The daily candlestick, what I was actually waiting for, since we shifted structure, retesting the previous daily structure point, I was waiting for this bearish candlestick, right? For the bears, for price to show me its hand first, that the bears are actually rejecting this point. And then we got this. I was like, okay, now this is good. Now I headed to the 4 hour, as I was saying here, waiting for the 4 hour to show us its hand first. But I was already in the trades because I was convinced with what do you call it, the engulfing, which had closed before this candlestick could close, right? The daily candlestick. So the 4 hour hasn't shown me its hand yet with the next candlestick. Hence, you can see price started consolidating. And obviously, after this consolidation, since well, this is a new daily candlestick. If price had shown me its hand like a bearish candlestick or some sort, then I would have been confident. But I was kind of hoping that price could do that, whilst obviously I'm still inside this whole scenario, of which is something wrong to do. Never got that 4 hour never showed us its hand, which is why price just literally took off, right? So yeah, man, these are the trades the two trades that obviously took, right? And then now the trade that I was actually looking at is GBP USD, which is after this I'm closing the video, right? So GBP USD, just gonna do this. Just gonna go on the weekly just to show you how I'm looking at things from the weekly. As you can see, I marked down my confluence here. The weekly time frame is bullish and we are at a higher low, right? You can clearly see that we shifted structure here. Price came here impulsively, but obviously now it's showing us that it's rejecting this weekly area of interest, right? Going down to the 4 hour, the daily, the daily, we can clearly see that we are bearish. Price broke below this higher low and then printed this lower low. This is a potential lower high because we are at an area of interest. But yeah, moving on with market structure, 4 hour time frame is also bearish. I just hate the fact that it's creating impulses towards the upside within this correction. As you can see, the correction is towards the downside and then it's impulsing, like giving us 2-3 candlesticks at most. Even here, I feel like it's gonna do the same thing. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for that inner structure to shift because price is currently bearish overall, right? So going back to our confluences, since all the daily is bullish and since all the weekly is bullish and these other two time frames are bearish, there's a 20% confluence which would be fit for a day trade, right? So like I said, I've learned a lot, bro. Now I learn how to differentiate what type of trade I'm taking. Is it a day trade? Is it a swing trade? Is it a scalping trade, right? Using the strategy that I'm using, right? So since when it's like this, I'm just gonna mark it here. There's a B trade. I like to do it like this, and I'm just gonna say confluences shorts, right? Because we did see that the weekly dropped impulsively, right? So I don't think that price is just gonna ignore that. I think that if price, it might not tend getting bearish on the weekly, but I do feel that it might actually just come here to create some sort of an accumulation before shifting structure and whatever, right? So until then, we are looking for those shots. So now this is when we're gonna start writing down our confluences. Now I'm just gonna say we are rejecting area of interest, right? So this is something that I'm able to see, which is nice to see. I would say that we are rejecting, right? So these two things already, this is something that I'm seeing on what another thing I like to like I level here. Let's do this real quick. Rejecting downside level. It's also good to downside. We do have 3 confluences already to take trades, right? So I'm just gonna specify here doji rejection daily area of interest. So this all obviously falls under, let me just keep it the way it is, rejecting daily area of interest, right? So obviously now the daily time frame has shown us its confluences and everything, but obviously there's not enough. The 4 hour, I do hate the fact that we are breaking highs, so I feel like this is where we have to wait. We have to wait for price to shift structure, the inner structure on the 4 hour. So I would like for the 4 hour to do either something like this, break below here, obviously retest the structure point 2, and then this is when I feel like I would take my sells. But obviously for now, I feel like we are waiting for the 4 hour show us and right. What do I mean by that? Structure, which is overall. When I say the inner structure, I'm speaking about overall the 4 hour. We can clearly see that we are bearish because we still haven't broken above this lower high, right? So we are still in a bearish consolidation, but within the consolidation, price is breaking highs. So this is the inner structure. So price inner is breaking highs. The inner structure of price is breaking highs, which is bullish, right? The inner structure is bullish. So I feel like we have to wait for price to show us its hand by shifting structure, the inner structure, and obviously retesting to sell, right? But this is an interesting trade. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this one. I wouldn't mind for price to obviously drop, retest here, and then that's when I would get sells. I would rather enter sells here than obviously enter here, seeing that price is doing something that I don't like, right? Which is something that I've also learned about. But yeah, man, according to market structure to show you. But yeah, man, I'm gonna keep on dropping more videos like this. Otherwise, away, guys, away, away.